All right, so today we are continuing the conversation on engineering insurance products in Nigeria. And of course, we've been touching down on this for the past 2 weeks. Let's see if we can expand the discourse to have more input and more ideas on how it all works. Joining me on the phone line this evening, Samuel Balogun is team lead, Ikeja stroke downstream underwriting for ICO PLC. Samuel, nice to have you. Good evening.
Good evening, Victor, once again. Good evening, Lagos. Nice to be on the show once more.
Wonderful. Oluwaferomi Orisabinone is joining us as well. She's team lead, multi-clients and financial institutions for ICO PLC. Oluwaferomi, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Victor. Good evening, Lagos. Good evening, Nigeria.
Right. So I know we have been talking about this for 2 weeks now, but for the purpose of clearer understanding and for those who are just joining us for the very, very first time, Samuel, what is engineering insurance policy?
Yes. So engineering insurance policies are a type of policy wherein a wide range of risks related to engineering are covered. And some of them include, risks regarding erection, contract works, and so on.
All right. So what are the types? What are the various types of engineering insurance policies that you have under ICO? Oluwaferomi.
All right. So ICO has about 5 engineering policies that they have in offering for anyone that would require them. We have the erectional risk, EAR. We have contractors or risk. We have plant or risk. We have machinery breakdown, and we also have electronic equipment policy.
Right. Okay. All right. So these are all the risks that we have under engineering insurance. We've talked on erection all risk, and we've also touched on contractors all risk as well. But I need you guys to please provide additional context to some of the key add-ons that we have to an EA, which is the erection all risk, and the car, which is the contractors all risk policy that are related that you've talked about. First off, I need you to explain to our listeners, is there anything like debris or demolition removal? Samuel?
Yes, there is debris or demolition removal. And a CAR or an EAR has this major add-on because it covers the cost incurred by the insured for the clearing, removal, and the disposal of debris, that is bricks and rubble, after the collapse of a building, which of course, following an event which is insured under the policy.
All right. I know that there's something like principal's property, right? So, and I need Oluwaferomi to just touch on this. How does the car or the EA, that's the contractors all risk policy, how does it treat the principal's existing property?
All right. So quite often there are usually existing properties already located on the construction or erection site, or even in the immediate vicinity of the project. So if such properties belong to the insured or the principal or the contractors, or those properties are in care, custody, or control of these parties, it obviously cannot be considered as a third-party property.
Okay.
And therefore, it is possible to insure such properties against loss or damage directly due to the construction, the erection, or testing of works, covered under the material damage section of either the CAR policy or the EAR policy.
Right. Okay, then. So let's touch down on the plant now. A lot of times when we talk about this kind of constructions, plants, equipment, they all come to play. So what does the policy refer to as contractors' plant and contractors' equipment, Samuel?
Well, most contractors arrange a separate policy for the plant and equipment they use in the construction or erection of a project. A separate policy is recommended because the cover is not limited to one particular site, as is the case with a construction or erection policy. However, sometimes the principal or contractor would prefer to include their plant and equipment under the construction or erection policy, especially if a special plant is needed to do the job. Such inclusion is possible by way of a policy endorsement, which of course must include the list of the items covered. And the period of insurance commences with the arrival of the plant and equipment at the project site.
All right. Okay. So those are some kind of add-ons. Now let's talk about the all risk insurance policy. Now, is it an annual policy or a one-off?
So no, like just like the EAR policy, the CR policy is not necessarily an annual policy. The standard practice is to issue a policy for the period of the contract, requested by the insured. Now, this may be for 1 year, it could be for 6 months, depending on the contract, execution period. And the cover will cease immediately the contract has been fully executed and, the project has been handed over to the principal. However, it is possible to open the cover for a long period of time, which will now require that each project that is done by the contractor is, declared into the policy from time to time.
Okay, so if you are constructing, let's say like a bridge, and it's going to take like 2 years, the policy is just taken once and it goes.
Yes, policy is taken once for the period of 2 years and expires immediately the project is executed.
All right. Now, if at that time, like most of our works in this part of the world, sometimes due to payment from the government, if it's a government work, for instance, that contract is now extended. Let's assume 2 years was no longer 2 years, going to go into 3 years. Will the policy still cover it?
No. So the policy would then be extended. There would be another conversation that would require that the policy be extended for a further period.
Right.
But it won't be renewed necessarily.
So
it will be extended.
And additional premiums will be paid, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the risks that are covered under the contractors all risk insurance. I know you guys have mentioned this before, but Samuel, just take us through that once again.
Okay. Well, some of the risks covered under a contractors all risk insurance majorly covers natural perils such as earthquake, shock, fire. It also covers storm, flood and cyclone, water damage, and it also covers a collapse, either partial or a complete collapse of what is being constructed, and it also covers a subsidence as well.
Okay, so like what you had was that on Monday now, or which day when the rains came and the wind was blowing so intensely? So if part of the construction work was to be affected, you're saying that the policy covers that as well?
Yes, it does.
Okay. All right, so what are the major exclusions in a car policy? One of the things about insurance is that sometimes you must have some kind of exclusions and, things that are exempted. So what are some of those exclusions that you have under this, Oluwaferomi?
All right, just like every other insurance policy, the CR policy also includes a bunch of exclusions that are not covered by the policy. One of which is willful negligence of the insured. Another is normal wear and tear, contractual liability, bad workmanship or defective materials. Also, war and nuclear risk are excluded under our contractors all risk policy, as well as loss or damage to faulty designs, disappearance or shortages. Now, it's important that the insured checks the policy documents in order to familiarize his or herself with the policy exclusions to avoid, issues at the time that a claim occur, maybe an insured event occur, to avoid issues with claims settlement.
Right.
It's important that they know the exclusions.
Okay, so these are the major exclusions, like you said, war, risk, nuclear, and all of those things. Those ones are not covered, right?
No, they are not.
All right. Let's talk about the claims now, because claims is what sounds like good music to the ears of the policy holder. So what is the claim procedures for a contractor's all risk insurance, Samuel?
Yes, the claims process is quite easy with no hassle at all. Just a few steps for a claimant to follow. The very first step is to notify the insurance company, which is us, about the damage or loss, and this can be done via mail, via a text message or a phone call. And in case the loss or damage is caused as a result of theft or burglary, a complaint must be filed with the police immediately, and the policyholder must also have a copy of that complaint or report with him. And following the receipt of all documents, we, that is the insurer, we send a survey team to assess the level of the damage that occurred. And of course, after verification of all documentation, the claim would be successfully disbursed.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. This evening on Insurance on the Move, we're looking at another set of engineering insurance products, and we're talking the contractors all risk and also looking at the major connections with the erection all risk as well. We're going to take a short break right now. When we return, we'll find out from my guests the issue of subcontractors. Are they also covered under the contractors all risk insurance? My guests will provide answers to that. And then with a car policy, that's the contractors all risk, will it cover me for damage done during maintenance work? All these and much more. Plus, we'll also be hearing from you too. That will be on 09153 877127. That's 09153877127. Or you can send in your WhatsApp messages, and that's on 08099120777. A brief break, we'll be back.
Honestly, I am fed up of my street.
Hey, what's wrong now?
I think my street is jinxed. Over the weekend, my apartment was boggled and the criminals made away with valuables. They even took my son's toy treasure box.
Stable and reliable.
And just this morning, there was a huge fire incident in my neighbor's house and he lost everything. I mean everything.
Wow. Anyway, like I said before, stable and reliable.
What are you saying? Are you mocking me?
Abba, of course not. I just said
obtainable, portable, blah blah blah. I can rhyme too. It doesn't help my situation.
Okay, you remember I had similar experience last year, but thankfully I had signed up to a fire and burglary insurance plan with a stable and reliable partner, ICO Insurance.
Oh, now I get it now. Yeah. But why didn't you tell me all this while now?
When the unexpected happens to your home appliances, ICO provides the insurance cover that makes you worry-less. Get the ICO fire and burglary insurance plan today. Call us on 0700 iContact. That is 0700 2442 668228 or visit www.icoplc.com to learn more. ICO Insurance, your stable friend. Yesterday, today, and always.
Insurance on the Move is the program, and of course this is Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. All right, on Bolade Oshodi, it's busy traffic inwards national proceeding through PWD at the moment, but no cause for alarm as traffic managers are very much on the ground trying to ensure that you have it good. Ajayi Farms, Ilezik, and other relevant areas. Very, very conducive movement for now. And we can tell you things are moving on pretty well. All right, I still have with me Samuel Balogun and Oluwaferomi Orishabinone, both of them from ICO PLC, and we're talking engineering insurance. All right, if you want to join the conversation, feel free. That's on 08099120777 and 09153877127. Okay, 09153877127. 7127. That's the numbers to call. You have a call? All right. Let's just revisit this. It is common knowledge in this part of the world that sometimes when you are a contractor, you get a job, and the job is, it could be somehow overwhelming, or perhaps the contract is so huge, you might want to let it out and have some other subcontractors to also join that particular contract. So,
hello.
Okay, let's take this call. Hello there, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
All right, what's your name?
B.
B?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
regular B. How are you doing?
I'm very good.
Okay, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ogba.
Ogba. All right, then. B, I have Samuel and Oluwaferomi on the line.
Yes, I've been following the program. I want to ask them, in a joint venture project, how is the contractors or risk policy or the erection or risk policy? How is the claim shared among multiple parties?
Okay, joint venture project, right?
Yes. How is the claim shared among multiple parties?
Okay, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Great. B is asking if you have a joint venture project, Samuel, how are claims going to be processed?
All right. Thank you. So, ideally, in a contractor's or risk policy or in an AR policy, the names of the interest holders are stated. So, from the inception of the policy, we need to know first of all who the joint parties are, and that way, of course, we can deduce how we would settle the claim. So, majorly, we just settle according to who makes the claim. Take, for example, we have, let's say, ABC Construction Limited,
Right.
Joining with XYZ Construction, we recognize only the name of the contractor, and that is how we are going to pay.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll just start making the rest of subcontractors. So are they covered under the car policy, Oluwaferomi?
Yes, some subcontractors can be covered under the contractors or insurance plan, just like various other stakeholders of the project. We just need them to be duly stated and for us to be aware of who these subcontractors are, so that we would note them in the policy.
Okay. All right. So for maintenance now, and I need Samuel to speak to this. Would the car policy, that's the contractors all risk, will you cover me for damage done during maintenance work?
Yes, of course. The contractors all risk insurance would cover for the damage during maintenance work. However, it is important that the insured notifies the underwriter of the maintenance period coverage. So that is considered in the evaluation and assessment of the risk, from the beginning or from the inception.
Right. Okay, then. So I'll need you to shed light on what the maintenance period is. But quickly, let me take some messages that are coming in. 08099120777 and 09153877127. That's the numbers. This one says, good evening. How are temporary structures like scaffolding treated under the car insurance? Abdul Latif is saying that one in from Okwebi. So temporary structures, scaffolding, is it also part of the policy? Does it cover the car policy? Oluwaferami, can you answer that one?
Yes. All of these are covered.
They're covered.
So far, they are structures that are affiliated with the project,
okay,
the construction or the erection. All of these are covered.
Okay, then. Another one here says, good evening. I am curious about the erection it says, okay, I'm curious about EA and CAR. That's the erection all risk and contractors all risk policies. Cover damage. It says, do they cover damages due to design flaws or material defects? Or Motayo is sending that one in. So, does it cover that, Samuel?
No. This is one of the exclusions we have under SCAR and ERP. It's a bad workmanship or defective material. They're not covered.
Okay. All right. Omotayo, thank you so much for that one. 08099120777. Another one here says, good evening, Victor. What are the common causes of claims rejections under CAR and EA policy? Ifeanyi is sending that one in. Ifeanyi, thank you so much. All right, Oluwaferomi. Some common causes of claims rejections.
Okay, so common causes of claims rejection would be if the presented claim is not insured under the policy. Like Samuel earlier stated, there are several exclusions under the policy. If a claim is presented and it is explicitly excluded by the policy, it will definitely be rejected.
All right. This one says, Victor, I have been trying to reach the studios, but it isn't connecting. Anyway, my question is it mandatory under Nigerian law for certain projects to have constructors all risk or erection all risk insurance? Sheung Ibrahim is saying that one. Sheung, thank you so much. So is it mandatory by law? Samuel? Okay, Oluwaferemi, go ahead.
No, it's not mandatory by law to take up a CR policy or a ER policy, but considering the various risks that is faced during this project, it is advisable that this insurance policy is taken up.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we have very little time left, but let's see if we can just rush through this. You were talking on maintenance period earlier on, Samuel. So what is maintenance period in this kind of policies?
All right. So maintenance period, as described, is described as the continuous period after the construction period has ended, which is dated on the policy, and during which warranty obligations such as repairs, improvements, or replacements are performed to the works stated on the policy.
Okay. All right. So for people who are interested, they've been listening to us. They want to carry out some levels of construction, and they would like to get the contractor's all risk insurance or perhaps the erectional risk. What are the documents that are required for processing these policies, Oluwafermi?
Okay, so we would require a completed proposal form, obviously, to give us, details of the project that is to be executed. We would need, a valid means of ID for the insured, just to confirm that they are legitimate and that they know what they are doing. They are, good profiled contractors. We need a copy of their CAC, of their utility bill, but most importantly, a completed proposal form that gives us an overview of what the project is about.
Okay, so that's all that is required.
Yes.
All right, then let's begin to take this home this evening. Will my car policy cover me if the damage is caused by because of the use of some defective materials? I think Samuel has touched on that before, right?
Yes, he has.
Okay. All right. So what information or document does the ICO require, or the ICO insurance, what do you require for you to provide car or air insurance cover for the listening public this evening? What is required? Samuel?
Okay, so
Okay. Yeah, I think Feromi just mentioned them, but of course, I'll mention them again. The completed proposal form, so we can have an insight on what the construction is and we'd also need the valid means of identification for individuals and a copy of incorporation document or registration document to be sure that the client we are dealing with is registered under the Corporate Affairs Commission of the Companies and Allied Matters Act.
Right.
And also we would need a utility bill just to check our due diligence boxes as well.
Okay, then. So how can they contact ICO Insurance, Oluwafermi?
We are available to be reached through our website, which is www.icoinsuranceplc.com, or you can send us an email via iContact at icoplc.com, or you can call 0700 iContact. That is 0700 244 266 8228. And you can also visit any of our offices nationwide. We are available to receive you anytime you come in.
All right, then. It's nice having an excursion with you this evening. Oluwafermi Orisabinone, thank you so much for connecting with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And Samuel Balogun, thank you also for taking us on this excursion.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, then. Okay, so we've been able to dwell on engineering insurance products, and we've told you some of the ones that you can go out there to pick at your leisure so that you can cover those construction projects that you have. And with that series, we're going to be ending this at least this conversation on engineering insurance products this week. Next week, we pick up another policy wherein you can tap into and guarantee protection for your property as well as for your life. We have to go. The program has been produced by Akan Hussein. Maximum thanks to Definite Media Concepts for putting all of this together. Next Thursday, 6:30, the program makes a return. But till then, I'm Victor Oteri. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.